Hi friends, thanks for tuning in again. This is part of a series. I don't know how many parts this will be, but this is the first part in a series that I'm going to call Horse's Hooves, named after chapter 9 of the Zhuangzi. If you haven't picked up the Zhuangzi, it's a classic text on Taoism. It's very entertaining, quite humorous, and also profound. My copy that I use is by Victor Mayer, the translation of Zhuangzi, and it's entitled Wandering on the Way. This is considered a kind of an outdated, old version of the Zhuangzi, so you can pick up a different translation if you like. It's just the one that I've used for years, and I'm used to it, and so I appreciate it. Still resonates with me. But chapter 9, Horse's Hooves, it's speaking about living according to your own natural, true self, your own nature, using the analogy of horses. Horses who don't need anybody to shave their hooves or comb their hair or make them stand in a row or in a stall, tell them when to eat and how to move about. They just are themselves without any governance. And so as part of my dedication to movement, and I feel movement has been very dedicated to me and revealing things about myself to my mind, I find this has become an essential way of being in the world for me. And on Wednesday nights, we have our katsugen class, which is spontaneous movement class. And for those of us who've been coming regularly, this too has been reported by others that something is happening through our practice, through our dedication of just allowing ourselves to be as we are, who we are, together in a safe space. Something is definitely emerging for each of us in terms of recognizing how we can come to sit and be with the question, who am I? Who am I? How do I want to be in this life, in this body, in this time that I have here? So precious. So I'm glad you're joining us. We always start Wednesday nights with a little tune-in and then doing some diaphragm releasing practice, which is what we'll do in this part of the series. And then in another part, we'll practice just becoming sensitive to the energy in our hands, and we'll see what happens from there, as what kind of movement, as we tune into our energy, what kind of movement comes. Thoughts, movement in the shape of thoughts, movement in the shape of emotion, movement in the shape of physical movement. So please join us. But to begin, we begin with just tuning in, and we'll do 4 diaphragm releasing practices today that I learned through my training when I was in acupuncture school. They come from a Japanese tradition of medicine. Typically they're done on a table with the legs dangling, but today I'm going to do them in a seated position. I invite you to do that too. You can do it in a chair, whatever works for you. Okay, so first we're just going to come to tune in lying down on the back. So make yourself comfortable. If you need a cushion for underneath your head or a cushion for behind your knees, that's okay to take. Ultimately, we want to let go of all the props and just come to experience ourselves on the ground. But of course, if it's uncomfortable for you, then do take some kind of support if you need it. So we just come to lie down. And we'll tune in first to just being right here, right now. And you can feel yourself being supported by the earth, feeling the pressure from the ground As you let your body relax more and more, you'll feel the contact with the ground more and more. And again, here you can note if there are places of sensation, if you have any ache or soreness or sharp feeling of ease, softness, whatever you notice as you come to rest on the ground. And if you need that support under your head, then please take it if that would make it easier on your neck. As you get accustomed here, just tune into your low back, sacrum, middle back area, and you can check in and notice if your back is contacting the ground or maybe it's slightly arching away from the floor. You can just check in. You definitely want to be doing this on a firm surface so you get the feedback from your body, especially when you start to lengthen out your legs. Just notice what happens in your low back as you let your legs lengthen. You might feel that it arches away from the ground. That's possible. Some of you might not notice that. But just tune into your low back and notice what happens as you extend those legs with how your low back relates to the ground. If you need something behind your knees to make it more comfortable, please take that. And as you continue practicing, you might need it less and less. And in that case, don't take any props at all. So as you come to rest here, you're tuning into the support from the ground, firm, stable, reliable earth, supporting you. You can also tune into your breathing. How the air, the atmosphere, heavens, the universe is supporting you. Then you just notice that you're breathing. Maybe you can feel where the breath is moving in your body. Just your chest moving, your ribs might be moving, your upper abdomen, your lower belly. And ultimately coming to rest your attention on yourself. Feeling yourself here supported by earth and heaven. And I invite you to let your hands come to rest where your thighs meet into your torso. If that's okay for you to rest your palms there. That just is a nice place to get a little information from your body as we make the first movement, which is going to be as you inhale, letting your low back arch away from the ground. So you want to lift your low back up away from the ground. And then as you exhale out the mouth, slowly, slowly return your low back toward the ground. Maybe it even comes to rest on the ground as you let your tailbone curl up. When you run out of air, relax. That relaxing can be quite sudden. So again, breathing in, arching the low back away from the floor, lift it up any amount. And then as you exhale out the mouth, slowly, slowly, kind of like a tire deflating, you can return your low back to the ground. Maybe it comes to rest there as you curl your tailbone up. And when you run out of breath, just relax. One more time, inhaling. Lifting the low back, exhaling, returning the low back to the earth. Curl the tailbone up. And when you are complete with that exhalation, relax. And then just rest And check in with yourself. Supported by the ground. Maybe you feel more support. Maybe it feels about the same. Maybe you feel less support, less contact. Just check in. Maybe your legs have eased up in their position, your low back. You can tune into the breathing. Notice if anything's different there. What kind of difference is that? If any. Then just begin to tune into yourself once again. Supported by the ground and by the heavens. Here you are. You can take a measure of yourself. How long do you feel? How heavy or light do you feel? How wide do you feel? And how lofty, so from the ground up, how lofty do you feel? So that's our first practice. You can gently just roll your arms, legs, and head a little bit. You can take it slowly as you come to bend the hips and knees to stand the feet. And you can take your knees into your chest, give a little roll side to side. And we're going to come up to sitting, so you want to find your way. You could roll up and down on your spine to come up, or maybe that's a little too much for you. Maybe you want to come roll to the side and then come up. Here, we want to take some support. So again, if you had a massage table, you could come to sit on the massage table. Or if you have a chair, you could come to sit in a chair. You can take a cushion and sit in seiza. So seiza is with the knees apart. And be supported like that on a cushion. So many options here. Or you can just come to sit on your heels with your knees slightly as wide as your shoulders, if that's comfortable for you. Maybe you don't like any of those options, and that's fine. You can always just come to sit cross-legged. Optimally, you'd be sitting on a table with the legs dangling or in seiza. I'm going to sit on a cushion just because I want a little extra support. It's the end of the day here right now. I just want a little support. So that first exercise is arching and lengthening the back toward the ground, lifting and lowering. It's kind of like cat-cow in yoga. This one, we're going to be doing a bending from the waist and letting the fingers sink up and under the ribs. This is why you want to do this practice when you have a relatively empty stomach, not just after eating. So we'll come to place the heels of the hands on the ribs just under the breasts, and let your fingers be on the soft part of your belly, just where the ribs meet the belly. You can relax here as you take a breath in. As you exhale, bending forward from the waist and letting your fingers come up and under your ribs as much as is comfortable for you. Exhaling, breathing out the mouth till you run out of air, and then you release your hands, let your belly just flop. Inhale, and then exhale to come back up to standing. Sitting tall. Don't rush it. Check in with yourself and just notice the effects of that movement. Some people might feel a rush of energy to their head. That's totally normal. You might want to just hang out before you do the practice again. Some people might feel something in their stomach or their lower abdomen intestines. You might just feel overall kind of a little more relaxed or whatever. Just tune in, and then we'll go again. Breathing in. And then as you exhale, breathing out the mouth, bending forward from the waist. And when you run out of air, release the hands. Let the belly relax. Breathe in. And exhale to come up. Again, check in with yourself. You might notice your shoulders want to drop a little more as your abdomen is relaxing. One more time. Breathing in, breathing out. Fingers come under and up, under the ribs. And release. Breathing in and breathing out. And checking in with yourself. I just noticed that my shoulder blades really descended. They feel much heavier. How about you? What do you notice, if anything? Third practice is a twist. Here we're going to inhale and raise the arms. If you're sitting on a table, then that's what you'll do. Sitting in Seiza, if you want, you have the option of lifting your hips a little bit off your cushion. So we'll inhale. And as we exhale out the mouth, we're going to twist to one side. Let all that air squeeze out. And when you're complete, let your arms drop. Breathe in. And exhale back to center. Again, don't rush it. Take your time. Notice what you feel from that. Inhale. This time I'll lift up on the knees just to demonstrate that. Inhaling. Exhaling, twisting to the other side. Twist, twist, twist. And drop. Breathe in. And exhale back to center. And we do that 2 more times to each side. Exhale back to center. Check in with yourself. Inhale, lift the arms. Exhale, slowly out the mouth. Slowly twisting. Go as far as you can comfortably. Even a nice little stretch here. When you run out of air, just relax. Drop those arms. Breathe in. And exhale back to center. One more time. Notice what's happening. Last time to the other side. Really relax. And exhale, center. Check in with yourself. How you doing? What are you noticing? Pleasant, unpleasant, neutral? Are you liking it? Maybe not liking it so much? Indifferent? Just notice your response. Every time you practice, it might feel different. And of course, your experience can encourage you to continue and practice more regularly. This is so good for the digestion, liver, gallbladder, pancreas, spleen, stomach. So this upper digestive area can really amp it up just to work on these diaphragm. Last one, the fourth practice, is going to be opening the chest. So you can really exaggerate this one. Just remember, we're creating tension and then we want to release it on the end of that exhalation. Really let yourself go as much as you feel safe to let go. So this one is inhaling, lifting the arms up in front. Then we're going to make fists by putting the thumbs into the palms first and then wrapping the fingers around. Exhaling, we're going to pull the elbows back and down, lifting the breastbone up, lift the chin any amount. As you exhale, 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 like you're pulling down on something heavy that's resisting you. And then release. Okay, that was our demo. So now we're going to come back to inhaling. Make those fists. Exhale. You can even put your teeth together like you're clenching down on something and hiss out the mouth. And release. Inhale up, exhale, pull down, resist, resist, elbows pulling back, chest lifting, chin lifting. Release. Last time. Make fists, pull, resist, resist, and release. And hang out. Notice what's happening now. Pleasant, unpleasant, neutral. Did you like it? Do you feel any tingling, vibrating, happening in your body? Where do you feel it? Or any other sensations? Just noticing them, letting them be as they are. And there you have it. So those are the 4 diaphragm releasing practices from the Japanese traditional medicine. Wonderful way to begin a katsugen practice, spontaneous movement practice, or just beginning your day. Excellent for the digestion. Also really helps to promote good breathing and sleep. So nice to do before bed too. You'll feel energized and relaxed. Okay, I'd love to hear from you. Thanks so much for joining me.